Hey guys, welcome back. DripCoach here with Drip and Farm for Poverty, where we don't trust, we verify and operate with integrity and transparency. Let's dive in. So today we got a video from Uncle Raoul, and he's the one that I've been definitely leveraging in regards to keeping all of this more easily digestible and understood. He has the everything code that he's discussed at great lengths in multiple videos. So you got Michael Saylor, who's just like the Bitcoin bull and very intelligent, and then Raoul, who I feel breaks this down real simply. And his everything code shows you how global liquidity cycles and the central banks and all this stuff tie into, even demographics, how it all ties into this being the most opportunistic trend that we will probably see in our lifetime. But in this particular video, the journeyman of his, he has a couple things that I want to point out. So he's talking about crypto summer, which is coming up soon, and then how we end up with massive FOMO and his favorite quote of don't screw this up. And then he talks about altcoins and then proper risk management strategies and what to do with like your long-term investment and thesis. And I want to kind of piggyback on that because he's a big Solana bull, I guess you would say. And we're going to play some clips on that because yeah, Solana is a great play. And right now we know it's definitely popping off with all sorts of memes and sniping bots and all sorts of stuff on that cycle. But the question he posed in another video is, what is the Solana of this cycle? Meaning there's nothing wrong with being in Solana, but or any of the other alts for that matter, but you missed the 200x on Solana. Like, it's not going to 200x now. Launched at under $1 and hit all the way up to $258 at its all-time high. So it's not going to do that again this cycle. Neither is BNB or AVAX or any of the other ones. So the question is, what's the new Solana for this cycle? And that's what we're going to examine in this video after listening to a couple of clips from him.
I managed to capture that entire trend. And it's very normal for crypto spring for Bitcoin to outperform. And then as we come into crypto summer that we're transitioning into now, ETH starts to outperform Bitcoin. This is a terribly unpopular thing to say because people say, well, ETH is dead, it's a dead chain, it's not working, blah, 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 blah. Just wait, have patience, you'll see. Will it outperform Solana? I very much doubt it. Solana's earlier in the adoption curve, so it means the percentage changes are larger. So that's how I see it with that. You can see the start of crypto spring, which was the breakout of this pattern and the slight acceleration. That's as we're getting to warmer days of spring, as it were. But really, summer happens when you break the previous all-time high in market cap and things go utterly bananas.
So that we're not there yet. So he's still calling this crypto spring, and then we'll get into crypto summer. And he's got this chart here that he's talking about where that makes more sense, showing the actual cycles. So green is spring, and then since we just had the halving, we are officially in summer, but it's all based off of the previous market cap. So we got up to 3 trillion and some change. I think it was like 3.08 if I'm not mistaken. I'm not quite sure, but I know it's more than 3 trillion. So once you break that market cap, then you are definitely in to crypto summer, as they say, and that's where typically the alts start to rally as well. So we're not there yet, and he's forecasting that to be like a month to 2 months out when that will take place. And nobody knows really how these ETFs will affect it, because a lot of this is 401k money and things of that nature, where people are just every 2 weeks an allocation into this asset, and that's typically means it just goes in there and you're not trading it. So nobody knows how high this cycle will go, if it will just be kind of straight up or trail off, or what actually happens to all this now that the halving is in and the ETFs are approved for the cycle. So it's going to be very interesting. But again, the question remains, as he's talking about the Solana ecosystem and all sorts of opportunities that are there, is what is the Solana of this cycle? And that's where I feel it could possibly be X1 or any of the layer 2s on Bitcoin. Now, technically X1 has been relabeled to X layer, but it looks like they still got it here as X1. And there's nothing here besides the OKB token. But now that this just launched, I feel like this is an opportunity. Now, there could be other ones that I'm not familiar with that are definitely possible in this ecosystem. But to me, if they were around in the last cycle, depending on when they got launched. So say, for example, Base came out at the end of, or kind of in the middle of the bear market, so to speak. So it could still have an opportunity, but I feel like it has to be something that didn't really come out in the previous cycle, or if it did, it came out at the very end of the bear cycle. So that's why I'm bullish on this. And then Runes that just launched, of course, and Stacks and all these other things that are on layer 2 of Bitcoin. So not saying any of them are the Solana of this cycle, but looking for those is a great opportunity. And also there's another clip from him where he's talking about how to properly allocate and risk management. Let me see where that's at.
Summary of what I've been talking about is right now, this is the time to take risk. Don't use leverage. Be careful what you own. Have fun out there and do it right. So hopefully what I've done here is try and teach you why this matters, why you should, in this festival of learning, listen to other people and learn some skills, how not to fuck this up, which is crucially important because you're being given a gift, why it's such a big gift, how ridiculous the returns have been over time and are likely to be going forwards. Obviously, there's no guarantee, but I don't see anything changing. How the everything code plays into this, how the refinancing of debts every 4 years creates a 4-year cycle that happens to correspond with the Bitcoin halving cycle and the US presidential election cycle, how that breaks down into different seasons, how liquidity plays into this and how demographics play into it, and how liquidity is being used to debase your currency, making your future self poorer. And then I've shown you how crypto fits into your portfolio to offset not only the debasement, it's a life raft for your asset, but it also happens to be an asset that goes up more than any other asset of all.
So that is, again, his thesis, and that's his everything code. So there's some great videos where he actually dives deep into the everything code. But as you see, he's not just like making things up. He's looked at this from a macro level and talking about the election cycle and the liquidity cycle and all sorts of things that tie into this, even demographics. He talks about how Japan's aging population and Japan is a litmus test for what we're seeing now here in the US. Like it's insane. So all that boils down to his final thesis of, don't screw this up. You don't need to have excess leverage and chase the shiny meme tokens and FOMO because you're bound to get wrecked. And one statement he made in here that I didn't play the clip is basically, he's like, if you're going to go after those things, that's fine. Make that 10% of your portfolio. The other 90% stick with the top performing assets. And that's what I've been telling you guys that I'm focusing on now on this channel, is just those top performing assets, and any layer 2s like layer X or Runes or things of that nature, because chasing the FOMO is indeed what got us wrecked, or got me wrecked specifically last year, or the last 2 years ago, whatever you want to call it, last cycle. So this is, again, it's like, here's a brand new opportunity. You should have learned from your previous mistakes. So what are you going to do this cycle differently? And to me, that's where the Drip to BTC platform comes in, where it's just like, okay, just focus on accumulating more Bitcoin. That's just simple. Don't have to make it complicated. Dollar cost average into Bitcoin, send a portion of that over here once a week, every 2 weeks, once a month, whatever you want to call it, and build up your credits and your Bitcoin simultaneously. Real super simple. Nothing else you need to do on that. And then possibly, again, like I said, the I don't have it up now, the layer X protocol, whatever that will be from OKX, because OKX we know is a top 5 centralized exchange. So even if you didn't get into the pre-sale on that, that's still a potential play, because it's a brand new ecosystem in the largest bull market potentially that we will ever see. So why not take a calculated risk on that ecosystem? That's again my thesis. And then, like you said, last but not least, don't screw it up. So don't take leverage, don't overextend yourself, and don't chase the FOMO from other meme tokens, things of that nature. And I know that's hard. Like even when I was doing the live stream for the allocation for the NFTs, I wanted to FOMO in and get more, and I had to tell myself no. So like you really got to create some kind of sound thesis and strategy that you can stick to, so that you do not chase the shiny objects, and FOMO, end up getting your portfolio wrecked. Rule number 1, Warren Buffett stated, is do not lose your capital. And rule number 2 is C number 1. So I think all of us, ended up chasing those gains. And as I showed you, most of the content creators that you follow are not actually being transparent, showing you that they're really just betting with your money, not house money, not their money. It's yours. They get kickbacks and get paid to put out a video, and then they put it out, and if they lose it, it wasn't theirs to begin with. So you're seeing all this stuff, and it may not exactly be the real deal of how things are playing out. So you have to realize that from your thesis and what you decide to do. So I would definitely encourage you guys to check out Raoul Pal, especially the Journeyman, I was gonna say podcast, but his YouTube channel, and the Everything Code that he has. This one here, I watched this recently. He basically kind of did a recap and brought it back out. So he did this with Nathaniel Whitmore maybe about a year and some change ago, and then he just revisited it with a new intro. But this gives you a really good understanding of his Everything Code and the deep dive into it. I think it's actually a much longer podcast, and this is it, the Exponential Age. Either way, go to Raul's channel and look for it, because he does a good job breaking down and keeping it super simple. So other than that, you guys can do your own research, look for the next layer 2 that I think you should be looking for this cycle. Avoid the memes and the FOMO, and don't use leverage, as he says, and focus on the top cryptos, because those should still be there this cycle. And you may not get the 100 to 1000x 200, but you'll at least be focusing on portfolio building on something that's going to be here in the next cycle. All right, hope that provides some value. If it did, smash that HBO special, help brother out, like, subscribe, comment down below, and until next time, lift daily and achieve your impossible. See ya.
Want to pay your in real life bills with crypto? How about send crypto directly to anyone with a bank account? SPRITZ Finance is a decentralized solution to be your own bank and connect your crypto earnings to real world bills and payments. They do not take custody of your assets and allow support on multiple blockchains and Web3 wallets. Sign up below using my referral link and you will get $50 back when you make your first $50 bill payment with crypto. Additionally, I will be using referral bonuses to airdrop, donate, or burn based on community feedback. Sign up now.